Yeah, so now you can see the responses. Hey, we're going to get started. So I'm Brian Dino. Again, I'm a digital coach for mostly elementary schools. And I'm here with EJ. Here's our room here. Oh, I got this on blur, so there's a blurry EJ. And EJ is coaching mostly secondary schools. Chances are one of us will be your coach this year. We'll put that list in the chat later on. Let's get started. I'm going to share with you my screen, and in this breakout session, we're going to talk about how to build relationships with your kids and try to do it in an authentic way as possible. We're gonna give you 3 techniques. And since we have a variety of levels in our audience here, we realize some of you might already use some of these or have something else, but hopefully you'll see something you can use at the start of the year or maybe implement at a later part of the year. And here's our, again, it's all about building relationships with your kids. And so at the end of the session, hopefully you'll have something you can use. I'm going to play just a short clip of this video here just to tee us up here. So I'm going to play 1 minute here.
No audio.
No audio. Hold on. We're
Share the tab instead of the whole screen.
Yeah, okay. My fault.
Hold it.
Here we go. I apologize for that. All right.
I still don't hear it. Yeah, they are saying that there is still no audio.
Can you hear it? All right. It's almost over. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I apologize for any audio issues. We had audio in our first session, so I'm not sure what happened. But I'm going to stop it there anyways and look at the last piece she said there. And you can see the subtitles there. In order to teach that child, you got to know that child. So that's what this session is about. How do you get to know your your kids at the start? And that's where our 3 techniques come in that we're going to share with you now. So we're going to talk about 3 techniques using technology to help you to get to know your kids this school year. We're going to talk about a dialogue journal. and then we're going to, then EJ is going to demonstrate Pear Deck, and then I'm going to show you Flip. So we picked these three because the first one is very easy to use, even if your kids are haven't used much technology. If they're young, they can probably do a Google Doc, or you can teach them a Google Doc and get them into a dialogue journal. And then Pear Deck is very interactive. EJ will have you interact with that. He'll show you that. And then Flip is also very interactive and uses technology. So 3 different levels. And we know there's more tools out there, but for this session, we picked these 3 because we think they can really help you get to know your students.
Then how are we going to do this? We have 2 different tracks for strategy 1. One of them is follow along with me. Basically, we will demonstrate the 3 tools with some of the designs that we have been using from the libraries or that we have created. Basically, the second one then is working independently. We have resources in there linked on this slide 21 that provides you resources that you can actually get going on your own if you want to, and then come back and join us at 9:15 in the main meeting to share the whatever you created using those tools. We want to recognize that many of you might have quite a bit of experience with these tools, and we don't want you to think that we know it all. It will be great, though, if you stay with us, that you can actually contribute some of your ideas, too, about how you use those tools and how you can use them for this particular purpose of building relationships with your students. So those are the 2 tracks. Again, we want to say that, you know, if you decide to go on your own, you will not get the support right away here face-to-face and the sharing of ideas, but you will need to return back to the main room at 9:15 to share what you did. So those are the 2 tracks. Next slide, one.
Okay. All right, so yes, decide. You can watch us here in just a moment, or you can work independently. By the way, all the resources, whether you stay with us or work independently, they're right there on the on the link that says Module 1, Tutorials and Guides. All the resources for learning and using these tools are there. Okay, so those of you who are going to follow along with us, let's get started. So one technique to get to know your kids is just a basic dialogue journal. And this is a very easy entry tech way to get to know your kids. Students write to you. It's kind of like a diary. Whatever you want to ask them, you can use in a Google Doc. You can just do it one time. There's other teachers who keep it going throughout the year, and it helps them keep tabs on the student, but also build a relationship. You can set the sharing properties on the Google Docs if you're familiar with it. So it's just shared between the teacher and yourself. I mean, the student and yourself. So there's an element of privacy there. Let me give you an example. I want to have you do I'm going to put a link in the chat here. And this is how you would distribute this to your kids. So there's a link, and that will, when you click on it, if you're not using an LMS, you can just distribute that link to your kids, and it would make them to do a forced copy of that document. And once you do that, this is what they see here. So if you make a forced copy, once they make a copy, they would have a copy of your template, and they would see whatever you want them to respond to. In this case, this is just an example of what was your favorite part of summer. and they can put pictures in there. You can ask them to write if you want, and this is suitable for probably, depending on the level of your kids, grades 2 and up. If they're new to Chromebooks in grades K through 1, it might take Seesaw might be more suitable for distributing, for doing this activity. So this is just one template example, and then you can respond to them in that document, the Google Doc here. You can write right in there. And if you want to keep this as a running dialogue for the whole year, it's a very easy way to do that. Again, distributing it to your kids, if you're using Google Classroom, you can do it that way. Or if you're using Schoology allows you to automatically distribute Google Documents. So it's very simple. I'll add one thing, and let me come back to our slides here and point out a couple of the resources. If you want to make this non-tech, I've talked to a couple teachers who are like, we're not going to start with tech right away, Brian. You can also do this in just writing format. And there are a few teachers who just have binders set up for their kids. It's more work, obviously, than doing it through a computer. But they have written dialogue journals, and the kids just keep a diary and they respond. And the teacher does it through, I would say, old school format. And so you can also do this old school if you want to encourage kids to write. More work on your end. And on the resources here, excuse me, this teacher talks about that under resource 1, how she, under the cult of pedagogy here, this link I'm highlighting right now, she talks about that, and also the other resource on how it's being used in the classroom there. So a tech way to do this, or a non-tech way to do a dialogue journal. Good way to get to know your kids. All right, so now for an interactive way that does require technology, but it's probably our most used tool, most used paid tool in the district. It's Pear Deck. We have a license this year, and I'm going to turn it over to EJ to show you all about Pear Deck.
Okay. I just want to add that, Pear Deck is not only the most used tool in Denver Public School, it's one of the tools that provides teachers the opportunity to build an environment that is safe. And students like to use it because they don't have to display who they are right away. They are, at the beginning, they might be a little shy, or they might have concerns about what other people think about them. So Pear Deck is a good way to go safe. That's one of the things I like the most. So I'm going to present my screen and show you a couple of things. Before we do that, I need your help with something technical, something logistic. I'm posting on the chat some instructions. Go to joinpd.com so you can join the Pear Deck. And I put a code in there. The code is JTLSMT. So it's in the chat. Now I'm going to present and walk you through it. Okay, I have already launched it, so it's open. Just wanted to point out these resources that I put together come from the content orchard. So I'm going to, if I click here on that picture, it will take me directly there. And you can see where I got them out of. That classroom community celebrations, that's what I got all this stuff that I'm going to present to you today. There is a myriad of different templates that you can use with your kids to engage them in the classroom, to build community, to make them feel welcome, and build that sense of belonging. So feel free to steal, borrow, change, edit, and create your own if you want to. Also, we want to emphasize that sense of belonging. Remember what Brian said and what that teacher said in the video. it's not possible to teach the student if you don't know the student. That might sound a little theoretical. Let me give you an example. When I was in high school, my math teacher, that teacher taught 3 years of algebra and geometry. And I had to go with him 3 years, but we did not have a good relationship. I felt like he did not build a relationship with certain students, and I felt out. I did not do very well in high school in math. I passed my classes, but was just scratching the surface, barely passing. When I entered college, I encountered a professor that did the opposite. He built relationships, and he made sure that he will present the material and explain the things at the level that you could get in. And I realized that I was pretty good at math, actually, and I became a math teacher years later. That was my experience. You could have experiences like that. And if you have them, you know what I'm talking about. It's not that students are not able to perform in a class, so sometimes those lacks of relationship or opportunities to build a sense of belonging get in the way. We know it, and you know it too. So something to think about. I want you to think about this quote also. The fastest, most effective way to develop a sense of belonging, since that's what we want to do, is storytelling. The shortest distance between two people is a story. That's a quote by Patty Dick, author of The Simple Wisdom for Complex Life. And I hope that the little story that I just told you about myself, you might identify with it and might have built a little bit more of rapport between you and I. But it's the same with the students. They need to be able to build their stories and share their stories. That's what this is about. So this per deck is focused on that, on creating that sense of belonging and story. So this is all about you. Are you ready? Here we go. I want you then, tell me one low and two highs that happened to you last weekend. I'm waiting for responses. There we go, SEL. Very good. Thank you so much. Thanks for opening it up. That takes courage. I had poison ivy. Oh my God. Oh, that's so painful and scratchy. Oh my God. I hope you are doing better now. Hope that you got some good meds for that. So you are with your nephew, right? I hope that the nephew didn't get it. At least if you both got it, you have company, but it's not any way to make it happy. Any other responses? We'll take a few responses. I want to make sure that I don't spend a lot of time on every single slide, so we can have opportunity to go into the next section. But I'll wait for a couple of responses, then 2, 3, and then we get moving. Later on, I'm going to put the deck in a student pace mode. So if you don't get to put a response in, you will have the opportunity later. So don't feel too terrible about that. So Lemmer, I see you there trying to put a response. All right. Oh, you're typing. I'm waiting. No, don't worry. No sweat. Oh, you had a sick dog. Yeah, that's awful. Yeah. Remember to do one or two highs. Remember that we asked not only for a low, but also for a high. What happened to you that was good? Also, we want to know. Okay, you were able to hang out with your husband, which was nice. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, build those relationships within the family. Awesome. I'm going to move to the next then. Again, you'll have an opportunity later when I put it in student pace mode. Now let's talk about our families. Check out my family. Here is Will, my son, my youngest son, Celia, my wife, the little one there. I'm a new grandpa. She has almost 3 years of age, Kiora, and my middle son, Mikael, in the middle next to Kiora, and I am there with my beard. And on the right, you will see Samuel, my son Samuel, who is the dad of Kiora. So he's to be blamed for making me grandpa, which I am very happy with. There is a link there for Family Jamboard. I want you to click on that Jamboard link. You see that there are a few people from the previous session that share about their family a little bit. If you can, please, if you don't mind, to load a picture there. Join this Jamboard and upload a picture of your family or your pet. And if you are in the process of building a family yet, you can very well post a picture of your best friends with you or whatever you feel that is important to you. So I'm going to wait a minute or so for you to go and upload that picture there. Awesome. I really like that picture. And who is that one in the with the guitar in the back? I wonder. Yeah, I like guitar too. So pretty cool. That's a beautiful picture. Any others? If you don't have a picture ready, you can also use the text tool to do a little description and put some names there and relations if you want to. You will find that your students will just go crazy about talking about their family and sharing about their families. That's a good way to open them up. Okay, if there are no other contributions, then we're going to move to the next. Again, you'll have opportunity later to post if you would like to. Next one is, from these 3 movies, which one do you like best? If you haven't seen them, which one will you go and see? All you have to do is drag that little heart icon. So I am seeing a response already. Pretty cool. You will see the little heart on the top right. Grab that heart and move it to the movie that you feel is more interesting or that you like best. If you are not a person that likes a lot of science fiction and hero movies, try to take a guess. It will be nice. I have a couple of responses, and I see a response on the Avengers, and I see a response on Jurassic Park. All right. Very awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Again, don't worry, if you haven't shared, you have the opportunity later on. I'm going to get going for the sake of time. So about last school year, write your experience last year from 1 to 10, 1 being a not so good school year and 10 being the best school year ever. How would you rate last school year? We have a couple of years that have been a little tough. Things started getting more normal, but the second semester last year, check it out. We got responses between about 6, we got a 5, up to 7, 8. So it looks like the distribution is pointing to an okay year. So, and again, after a pandemic and a lot of restructuring in the district, this is not too bad. All right, thank you so much. There we go. Now it's gone to 6 to 8. You see, you can see the distribution of the data, and you can share the distribution of the students, and kind of make sense for them about what does that mean. Thank you so much for sharing that. One more thing about the last school year. What did you like, and what did you dislike about last school year? Thank you, Seal, for jumping on again. Thank you, Panda. Yeah, no, seeing the kids, you bet. It's really hard to get that vibe, that shot of adrenaline from seeing the kids doing great. We really miss that the last couple of years. Yeah. Yeah, tough to get the rhythm. In the last session that we had, there were people using exactly the same words. Tough to get going with the rhythm. Yeah. But attendance, yeah. And even when we had good attendance, I bet you that many of you experienced that the engagement, uh, we were thinking about engagement a lot, and we were wondering, are they really engaged? So I bet you were there too. Yeah, it's a huge problem. You're right on that. So like getting to be with students in an almost normal environment, dislike uncertainty about whether we will be online or in person. And there were some schools that had to go back online because they had spurs of that terrible illness, and everybody had to go home for a few days and then come back. Hopefully we won't have any of that this year. Hope that you guys and we all together have an awesome, smooth school year this year. Let's pray. Thank you so much for sharing, all of you. I'm going to move to the next. And this is about summer. If you have the opportunity, share a selfie. Now we have another Jamboard. Click on that Jamboard link there, or I'm going to put the Jamboard in the chat. I'm going to put the link. You will see that there are some other people that share their selfies, their beloved summer selfies. Let me go back to the meeting. And here is the Jamboard link if you need it. You can see some of those beautiful summer pictures. And check this one out. I was so excited. One of the teachers before said that she met her grandma this summer for the first time. And it's a story of 23andMe. Check that out. That was amazing. Imagine you having that opportunity. You can see that I'm a classical guitar player. That's why I said that I love guitar too. And I had a summer camp and all that I participated. I'm kind of in the center, and you see my students to the left and right. And I love hiking, fishing, anything that is outdoor. And my wife and I, we took quite a few chances to go out and enjoy this beautiful heaven that we call Colorado, right? So feel free to put a selfie there if you have one. If not, you can also use the text and describe it if you would like to. Describe some of the cool things you did. Look at that beautiful selfie. Look like possibly sisters or best friends. Cool. Oh, you don't take many selfies? That's okay. But believe me, you're pretty photogenic, so don't be shy about that. Yeah. I like the background also. It's awesome, those hills there. It looks like I'm guessing looking at the rocks in the back, might be Red Rocks, the entrance to Red Rocks. I don't know. Oh, your cousin for the first time. Cool. Check it out. Yeah, you guys kind of look alike. Yeah, you have the same smile, and the upper part of your face. The brow looks very much the same. Yeah, good job. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm going back to the presentation. I'm moving you to the next. Again, you'll have the chance to do more later. Then, what are you most excited about this new school year? Maybe you have a new room that you now have the room that you wanted, or maybe you get to teach a new course that you always wanted to teach. All right, Limor, see you there. Type in peacock also. What a beautiful bird, the peacock. Seal, all right. One of the most generous animals. You have to see a seal, how they care for their babies, and you know that there is a smart there and there is heart in there. Year 4, all right, excited. Brand new office, pretty cool. New method for a small group reading, all right.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing your responses very much. We'll go to the next. We have only a few more to go, 2 or 3. What are you the most worried about? New year, we always have questions. And, schools are always in flux. So you might have some worries around there too. Let me know. Right, Seal, I see you too. Thank you. Thank you, Limer. Class size. Yeah. With the school consolidations, this might be something that you might be worried about, something to talk about at your school. Oh, your principal left, and the school is now a K-12.
Oh.
Yeah, big change. Absolutely. A lot more kids in the building for sure. And not having a new principal, new leadership, new vision, that also get some will spur some questions from you. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for sharing again. I'm going to move to the next. Peacock, you'll have a chance later if you would like to. Don't worry. Then pick an option that describes that describes you best as a learner. There are 4 options there. So you might need to scroll up and down in the window to be able to see all the options. But we have an option for a visual learner. We have an option for somebody that likes to read a lot, text-based learner. We also have an option for people that like doing things, and an option for people that like to learn by listening a lot. So I see 2 responses there, and be learners. They are coming strong here. I learn the best by listening to others talk. All right. I listen to podcasts and things like that. Like to do those audiobooks. Very good. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. Last one. Here goes the last one. Make a simple drawing that illustrates your hopes and dreams for the future. Use those markers. Use those pencils in there, in the tools, and do a little drawing that will represent your best hope for the future. I had a teacher in one of the sessions before. She drew a song, very simple, a song to think about having a bright future for the kids and for herself. There we go. Thank you so much for displaying yours. If you would like to, you can unmute and describe your drawing a little bit. It's okay to do that. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Nice, thick people close together. I love it. I know what you are drawing now. Yes, I know it. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, guys, this is this set of slides in Pear Deck show you what you can do with your students to integrate them into the community in your classroom. There are 2 more examples. We are not going to go to those other 2. Those are for you to have as resources down the line in this Pear Deck. So you can always go back to that link of the org chart and go and peruse what is in there and see what you can borrow. Thank you so much for participating. I appreciate you all. I'm going to stop presenting now and pass it to my friend Dino so he can complete the next part with you. Thank you again.
Thanks, EJ. Hey, anybody have any questions before I go into the last tool? You could either unmute and ask, or you could put them in the chat. I know if you're like our last group, you're like, oh, it's Tuesday, and I got kids coming. Some of you might already have kids started. A number of schools started this week. Some started last week. So, yeah, lots on your plate. My wife's, well, actually, EJ's wife is a teacher. So she's getting ready. My wife's an instructor also. And, okay. Hey, I'm going to launch another quick poll. So let us know what, let me launch it. I want to know what LMS you use there. So you should get a little pop-up saying a poll has been launched. So I'm just curious what you're using there. If you don't see the poll, click on the little, on the bottom of your screen, the little triangle and the two dots. So Seesaw user. Yeah, Google Classroom for writing assignments. Yay, writing. Okay. And Schoology. Yeah, grade 6 through 12 will be using Schoology. K through 5, there's some flexibility, but check with your school. All right. Just a note about Pear Deck. Again, these are just 3 tools you can use to build those relationships. What I see with the schools I support in Pear Deck is it's one of the few things with kids on screens, we know there could be a lot of distractions and they get tab happy, but Pear Deck is one of the few tools we have where you can guide the slides and the interaction and have them respond, and it creates an interactive experience. So you can use it for all of your curriculum. I've seen it, people pull passages out of the curriculum they're using, put passages in a Pear Deck, have kids respond, interact with it. So, and I see it used a lot more in the afternoon. That could be anecdotal, but afternoon when kids are a little tired, but just to get them interacting with the content, I see Pear Deck as a suitable tool. All right, hey, gonna quickly demo Flip here. It used to be called Flipgrid. I might call it both through this little demonstration, but let me share my slide with you here. So Flip is a free tool from Microsoft, and it has a lot of use in the district and in the state here. And as you can see, just some highlights about it. As it loads, everybody's on our internet today, EJ. What's up with that? All right, let me stop sharing then. All right, looks like I just lost it. Okay, let's go back again. Our internet bandwidth is being tested today. A lot of virtual sessions going on as we speak, but I think we'll be good here. Let's try that without presentation. Okay, so I can't blow that slide up as much as I would like, but so Flip, what is it? Student voice. Big use if you want to bring the kids in to respond to you, especially if you have a say lower level writing skills, but you just want to get them to respond with video. This is a great way to do it. You got lots of pre-built topics. You can build your own. One of my favorite sites, which is Common Sense Education or Common Sense Media, they say, hey, it allows you to post questions and spark thoughtful video responses with a stellar tool. So, and it's still free, but we know in the world of educational software that could change. It probably won't change this year unless Microsoft is going to surprise us in the next few weeks. So that's Flip. Here's how one teacher uses Flip at the start of the year. I'll just read a little piece of this. This teacher doesn't get to know themselves. And again, it's about establishing relationships. First day, this teacher says, I'll ask them to share with me 5 things I should know about them. And this teacher makes it a writing assignment, but if it's a lower skill class, they'll use a private Flipgrid to do a small recording about themselves. And they can do it in private and then just share that video in Flip with the teacher. And it's getting to know your kids, which, as we know, is the big heart of education. Before you can, as that video said, you got to know them first before you can teach them. So that's one strategy, using Flip. Let's actually do it. And I'm going to have you join my, do a quick flip here. So in the chat, I'm going to paste a link. And if you can click on that link, it'll bring you into Flip, formerly Flipgrid. It might ask you to sign in with your Google account. If so, just sign in with your DPS Google account. And once you do, you should see this screen here. Let me change my screen. Okay, so again, sign in with that link in the chat to Flipgrid. Use your DPS Google account. And you should see this activity. And it's a back to school get to know you. If you want, you can respond. You don't need to, you can just hold up your phone, record your phone. If you haven't used Flip, you want to see how this works, just do a 2-second video of your phone. You don't need to get, you don't need to do a response here for our session. But you would share this with kids, and then they would have the prompt there, and they can respond with a short video. And you might want to make it less than, it's up to you, make it less than 15 seconds or 60 seconds. It's just how long. If you've got 30 kids and they each give you a minute, you don't want to spend 30 minutes looking at all their responses. So go ahead and respond to that if you would like. And then I'm going to show you what that looks like on my end, on the teacher's end. Okay, so on my screen here is the teacher dashboard for Flip. And so far I have 4 responses here to that prompt. And again, I've asked them, I've shared with them, I'm so excited to see them, and do a video to introduce yourself. I told them the prompts. And then down below is my dashboard. I can see the responses, and I can click on them. So if I click on it, I would see their video response. There's my student, and now I can respond right to that student here. I can add a comment, and nice video, EJ, great to meet you. I look forward to teaching you. Okay. And then Flipgrid has all sorts of privacy and moderation controls built in. Right here, I can make this a public comment, which means everybody in this Flip, all the students would see it. For now, I'll make it a private comment. and it's just between me and the student, and I would send it. I could do a comment. I can also do a video. That's up to you. But again, we know a lot of you have large class sizes, and if you wanted to do a video, I mean, let's say you have a really kid you need to connect with, maybe a video is more appropriate. But you have that option, and then it keeps track of all of your correspondence here, and you have that ability. So again, that's all on your dashboard, and you can control the dashboard. We have an all-in-one guide to Flipgrid for if you want to use it, and it has a lot of use in the district for kids responding to book reports, to kids responding to social studies issues, anything you want to use. If you want to get some ideas, use the Flipgrid Discovery Bank. And I'm showing that right now on my screen. So that's called Flip Discovery. You can see here they have over 50, close to 45,000 topics. And pretty much anything you're teaching, there's a template for. Or if you want, create your own template. But use their search topic. Let's say, again, start of the year. And what would you rather? There we go. You can also sort by grade level, subject. But here's Mr. Lopez's. This is for elementary school. Start of the year. Let's talk about our new school year. What's your name? So here's a template here. You could bring that into your Flip. You can modify it however you'd like. So there's lots of templates there, or create your own. And you'll have everything showing up on your dashboard. Okay. Any questions about Flip? Okay. I'm going to show our all-in-one here. Bring us back to the slide deck. And so in the slide deck, the main slide deck for this session, there's our all-in-one guide to Flip. And we have all-in-one guides for all of our tools. Again, Flip is free, but a good way to build community or just get to know your kids at the start of the year. And if you have any questions on any tool or any use of how to integrate technology into the classroom, once again in the chat, I'm going to paste the digital coach listing. So find out who your digital coach is, and if you have a question about integrating technology into the classroom or instructional techniques, chat your coach up. We handle how to use technology. We kind of think of it as like software, how to use it. If it's hardware, like your device doesn't work or how do I print, each of your schools will have a tech person who supports the hardware. And you contact that tech person. They have a fancy name like either STR or STP, school tech rep or school tech partner. They handle everything hardware related. We handle how to use technology in the classroom, or how do you teach with technology, or just instructional techniques. You got a question, EJ? Did you raise your hand?
Well, more like a comment.
Comment, yeah.
Just want to let you know that, those pair decks that we went through a moment ago, they are set up in share as view, but you can download, you can create a copy and make it your own then. The reason why I put it as view rather than as editor is to make sure that everybody gets the same one, so nobody comes in and makes some changes in there thinking that it's theirs, and then everybody's stuck with that change too. So you are able to make your own copy and then do all the changes you want.
Sorry, you can't hear me. I just launched one more poll there. Again, hopefully you won't have a need for Google Meet or if your school uses Zoom. But if you do any adult training, then
Or meetings, parent-teacher meetings.
yeah, parent, a lot of schools, you're right, EJ, a lot of schools are using video for parent conferences. Again, that varies by the school. So, all right, so we've got some Flip users. All right. Okay, so, well, we've got a few more minutes here before we go back into the main session at 11 a.m. Are there any questions, comments, anything you want to ask us as you start the year? I know you're probably like most teachers and you just need time back to get those lessons prepped or get your room set, or your school is making demands on you. All right, so on our slide here at 11 o'clock, which is in 7 minutes, you're going to go back to the main meeting. Remember, this is a breakout room. So at 11 o'clock, click on that link there in the main slide deck, and we'll go back with everybody else who started with us. And we'll just share out something you might use to build relationships with your kids at the start of the year. Okay, so I think I'm actually, EJ, you have anything to add? I think I'm going to end this breakout session here. And again, I'll put this link to the main. Let me make sure you know where you're headed. So copy this main. If you don't have it, there's where we're going in 6 minutes. And then we'll show you how do you get credit for this session. And we have a few other things to wrap up. And then we will end at 11:15. Thanks for joining us in our breakout room this morning. And I'm going to close this out. And it will end. And then we'll see you in the main breakout in about 5 minutes.
Thank you, everyone.